And then he filed something against me and said, I'm only going to get supervised visits because I'm crazy and blah, 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 you know, the story. And so I just didn't talk to him for like 30 days and let him take care of him and let him see what I've been doing for the past 7 years, because men need to do that, you know.
When we last left off talking about the Lori Vallow Daybell case, it was on January 31st, 2019, and we watched body cam footage that included police coaching Lori on how to avoid being forced to have a mental health evaluation. She didn't end up having that evaluation and passing it. There is a playlist that includes all of these videos if you have missed any part. Let's continue. In February 2019, Charles filed for divorce from Lori. Some quotes from the divorce documents. Mother. In these documents, mother is going to refer to Lori Vallow, and father is going to refer to Charles Vallow. Mother believes that she is receiving spiritual revelations and visions to help her gather and prepare those chosen to live in the New Jerusalem after the Great War, as prophesied in the Book of Revelations. Mother has recently become infatuated, at times obsessive, about near-death experiences and spiritual visions. Mother has told father that she is sealed, that she means eternal marriage, to the ancient Book of Mormon prophet Moroni, and that she has lived numerous lives on numerous planets prior to this current life. Mother also believes that she was married to James the Just in a past life, and also lived as Mary French in the 1800s, who was Joseph Smith Jr.'s natural grandmother. Mother also informed father that she is a translated being who cannot taste death, sent by God to leave the 144,000 into the millennium. Mother believes that she is receiving spiritual revelations and visions to help her gather and prepare those chosen to live in the New Jerusalem after the Great War, as prophesied in the Book of Revelations. I believe I copied that there. I said the same thing twice, but I was copying from a document that had a lot of quotes. My mistake. But as a full context there, it's bad. It's bad. On January 29, 2019, during a phone conversation between the parties, and after their physical separation, Mother informed Father that she was a god assigned to carry out the work, okay, there it is, of the 144,000 at Christ's second coming in July 2020, and that if Father got in her way of her mission, she would murder him. The next day, Father was on a business trip in Houston, and during another phone conversation, she kept referring to Father as Nick Schneider instead of the father's name. Father asked who Nick Schneider was, and Mother told him that Nick was Father's real name because Nick had killed Father and taken his identity. Mother proceeded to warn Father that she would kill him upon his return home and had an angel there to help dispose of the body. She also mentioned that she could not trust Father and that she would not only kill him, but would destroy him financially. Since that conversation, Mother's communications with Father have been rare and intermittent. Somewhere between February 2019 and June 2019, Melanie Gibbs says she was told by Lori that Tylee was dark. I can't give the exact time frame that this was said, but it is worth remembering because Tylee is very important in this video. Between February and March 2019, Charles was forced to contact JJ's grandmother Kay to ask if she knew where Lori was because Lori went missing. Kay would take care of JJ when Lori went missing because Charles had to work. Charles changed the beneficiary of his $1 million life insurance policy to be Kay instead of Lori. Charles and JJ moved to Texas to be closer to Kay. During these months, Lori left JJ and Charles for 58 days while she was in Hawaii with her friends and messaging Chad Daybell. And in March, Lori paid for Chad to fly to Arizona. In April 2019, Lori moved in with Charles and JJ in Texas. The attempt to divorce was stopped. It only took until April 26, 2019, for Lori to pay for plane tickets for Chad to visit her in Texas. In early May, both Chad and Lori searched for, I'm going to butcher the name, Malachite. This is relevant because their future wedding rings appear to be made of that mineral. On May 17, 2019, JJ visited his birth parents for his birthday. This was the last time they saw him in person. At the end of May, Lori and, I'm going to butcher this name, Zulumia Pastenes talked about demons. Lori believed Charles was possessed by. Zulima Pastenes is Lori's sister-in-law, married to Alex Cox, who is Lori's brother. Lori sent to Pastenes a message that said, "Perfect, I found out there are 4. One is a level 4 entity. His name is Hiplos." I am so bad at names, and there's a lot of them in this, and I'm going to keep apologizing, I'm sure. June 1st, Chad searched Hiplos, which was the name that was just given to Charles's demon. June 2nd, Pastenes told Lori she was given instructions to rip, tear, or burn the auto of Hiplos to let the body energy out, and Chad sent a message to Pastenes thanking her for help with Hiplos. During the month of June, Lori and Charles moved back to Arizona. Melanie Boudreau, Lori's niece, and her husband, Brandon Boudreau, decided to have a divorce. This is relevant, very relevant. It gets brought up actually in the interview later. Brandon claimed that Melanie had joined a cult and believed what Lori did. Melanie claimed she had a revelation from God she wasn't safe in a house with Brandon and used that against him in court when it came to visitation rights. And around this time is when the clash truly began between Charles and Lori. On July 1st, 2019, Charles had enough and told Lori he planned to contact Tammy Daybell about Chad Daybell having an affair with Lori. Detectives were able to get text messages sent, which included Charles telling Lori that the game was up. Some other messages sent to Lori, not in any specific order or date. "You accused me of infidelity, but it's you who has been having an affair. It keeps killing me, but maybe that's your goal. The fact you will continue to go to the Templar after all you've done shocks me. There really is something wrong with you. You have to be exposed for what you are. You have destroyed me. I have never been lower in my life. Please explain. We have a son to raise, but that's all we have in common. You owe me an apology for all the false accusations you've made. I've been entirely faithful to you since the first day we met. I deserve an apology from you. Please respect that much." Charles also sent an email to both Tammy and Chad, which read, "Your husband and my wife are having an affair. It's devastating. I know." Charles sent an email to Chad, which said, "I'm Lori's husband, but I'm sure you already knew this." It also said, "Either you or Lori need to tell me what's going on, or this will be exposed for all to see." As well as saying, "And does your wife know you have several of Lori's dance videos? Explain how that is. She sent them to you in January at your request." July 9th, 2019, Chad searched "When you surprise someone with accusations." Charles Vallow died on July 11th, 2019. after being shot by Lori's brother, Alex Cox, who claimed it was self-defense. Alex claims he shot Charles in the chest twice while they were both standing. But the bullet locations prove the second shot was when Charles was already on the ground. Alex Cox claims he tried to give Charles CPR after the shooting, but there wasn't blood or injuries to Charles' chest that would have been there if that was true. Charles's phone was not at the scene, but was later given to police by Lori. The GPS data on Charles's phone was used to track Lori to verify her story. And if it was true. Lori went to Burger King, Walgreens, and then dropped JJ off at school. The surveillance video from Burger King proves it was Lori with the phone and showed her in the drive-thru 42 minutes before Charles was shot. Charles's children from a past marriage messaged Lori what happened. She didn't answer. She said he would be cremated. And then Lori stopped responding to them. Now, I have a multitude of body cam and interview footage to show you. All from the same day, July 11th, 2019. This is body cam footage from July 11th, 2019.
That gotta go that way. That car has to go that way.
They can't go out that way.
That's a problem.
Yeah, it's a circle.
All right, then we got to get that tape
Okay.
to over here probably. Yeah. I can get you to come back out here and retape this outer perimeter. People are driving through it here. So that's a... So that's a one-way. So we got to be able to let people out onto that street, but so we got to move that south tape. Okay. All right, let me get your information. Does your husband live here or no?
No,
Oh.
this is in Houston.
Gotcha. Okay, you guys
We're
got it.
separated.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me just get your... Do you have a driver's license with you? I can just grab it. Thank you. Lori. What does your middle initial stand for?
Noreen.
Noreen. N-O.
R-E-N.
V-A-L-L. What's a phone number for you, Lori? You live here though, not in Santan. This is your home.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
We just moved in here.
Gotcha. How long have you guys lived here?
I'm sorry.
How long have you lived here?
Like 3 weeks.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Okay.
That's why the neighbors don't know us.
Gotcha.
Like, hi neighbor, sorry.
Are you working at all?
No.
Okay. And you're still about 5'6", 120.
What?
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, young lady. And let me just get your information. How old are you?
16.
16? Okay. And that's mom? Okay, what's your first name, hon?
Just pausing for a second here because this gets even sadder when we find out what happens to her. Remember, this is the daughter that Lori called dark. It's getting dark. I don't think there's any more audio. Mostly I wanted to just show how calm and laughing Lori was at this scene. This will be a little out of order because I really wanted to start with Lori's reaction on the scene. We're going to go back in time a little bit and see what Alexander Cox, the man who fired the gun, had to say that day.
Have a seat.
Yeah, 18. Seat secure. We got the gentleman out.
You have some ID on you, sir?
Yeah.
What happened today? How did it get to this?
I don't know. He was enraged.
What's going on? What happened?
Oh, he was talking with my sister earlier.
No, what happened today, though? Like, just in the last 20 minutes.
He came at me with a bat.
Okay. Was he living here or
No.
visiting?
He came to pick up his son.
Okay, is his son inside?
No. My sister took him to school.
Okay, so it was just you at the house?
Yes.
And he came, how long, what time did he come to pick up the son?
I don't know, 20 minutes ago maybe.
Okay, so you know who he is, let him in?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think they were talking earlier, then she left, and then...
Since his face is blurred, I'm going to keep my webcam up unless something else pops up in this corner.
He got into it with me.
Like what? What do you mean?
I don't know, he was accusing me of...
Come on over here. That truck's going to be really loud. What was he accusing you of?
He was just yelling at me.
Okay, what was he yelling at you about?
He's not my sister because I've broken up the tussle with them earlier. And he told me not to interfere anymore with them or I'd pay. And he came at me with a bat.
Okay, so he showed up in the house with a bat in his hand?
No.
Okay, so...
There was a scuffle earlier with my sister and my niece. My niece got involved.
About earlier meaning earlier this week, earlier this morning?
Just this morning, before they left.
Before your wife left?
My sister.
Before your sister left?
Yeah.
Okay, who lives here with you?
Nobody. I don't live here. My sister lives here and my niece lives here.
And you're just visiting?
I was visiting for the night.
Okay, so you're over here visiting your sister and your niece?
Yes.
Okay, and there was a tussle between your sister and her husband?
Yes.
And does the husband live here or no?
No.
Okay.
He lives in Houston.
Okay, is he an ex-husband or just current husband?
They're working on that.
Gotcha. So at some point earlier today, they get into some type of domestic?
Yeah, just this morning, then they left, and then he came at me.
They left meaning who? Both the parties?
Yeah, my sister took my niece and my nephew.
Okay, so they left.
Create some space for him, and then he came at me.
Okay, but did he leave also?
No.
He stayed here?
He stayed.
So you guys are kind of talking in between or what? Who are you? Who are you? No, just go back. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So it's just you and your brother-in-law?
Yes.
Okay. And kind of go through it. Did you say something like, hey, don't touch my sister, or...
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And then he picked up the bat.
Where was the bat at?
In the living room.
Okay.
The guy inside me?
No, I haven't got it. Charles is the husband of the occupants here. But I guess he lives where?
Houston.
You know what date of birth?
No.
From Houston?
Yeah.
Is this vehicle here? How did he get here?
Is it here from Texas?
No, that's my sister's car. I think he came in a rental car. I think my sister's in it.
You think your sister's in the rental car? Okay. So you get in an argument? What is it over?
Well, I was over my sister. He was getting physical with her, and so my niece came out with her bat, and then he took the bat away from her.
Wait a minute, I thought you said your niece left.
She did. This was before.
Okay, so before your sister and your niece left,
Yeah.
at some point your sister and her husband are arguing,
Yes.
verbal argument, and then your niece pulls out a bat.
Well, it wasn't verbal. He was getting close, and she came out to defend my sister with her bat.
Your niece.
Yes.
Okay.
And then she poked at him, and then he took it away.
Okay.
And then I stepped in and told them they needed to separate.
Right.
So then my sister leaves with my niece.
And how long ago did they leave? Been like an hour, 10 minutes?
20 minutes, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. So not terribly long.
No.
Oh, okay.
And then he's coming back at me, and he still got the bat in his hand. Like, what are you doing?
And where are you at? Where are you
We were
both
in the
at?
living room.
Okay.
And then I turned around, and he hit me in the back of the head with the bat. So I went to my room and got my gun. I always
So
carry it.
you went to your room, meaning the room
well,
you're
I'm
staying in?
Yeah.
Okay, and you brought a gun with
Yes,
you?
yes.
Do you always
Yes.
bring a gun?
I have a concealed carry always.
Okay.
Just to be safe.
Hi, who are you? Okay, just stand over there for just a second, guys.
There's Lori and the daughter.
And then I told him to put the bat down, and he wouldn't, and he came at me
Getting
again.
the wife to show up as well. So you told him to put the...
Yes.
So where are you at?
Back
Where
off.
are you at now? Or did you stay in your bedroom?
No.
Okay, why didn't you stay just in your bedroom, close the door? Is that something you didn't think about, or...
Didn't even occur to me.
Okay, so walk me through it. So you go back in your room
So I just went back to the living room. Like, what is your problem?
with the gun in your
Yes. And I said, I want you to put that bat down. He wouldn't do it. And he's like, dude. And he came at me with the bat again after he'd already hit me in the head. So I shot him to stop him.
Okay, then what happened?
That was it. Then
Okay. Is it Alex or Alexander? Where do you go by? Do you go by Alex or Alexander?
Alexander.
Okay. Do you live
I
at
go
the...
by
Are you working now?
I'm on vacation this week.
Well, what do you do for a
Oh, I
living?
drive a truck.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some tape.
Gotcha. The wife just showed up.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some tape to take this off.
Just think that for a second. Where's the weapon at now?
It's in the bedroom.
So after you shot him, you put it back in the room, or?
Yeah, I went back to the bedroom to get my phone.
Okay. And what'd you do with your phone?
It's right here.
Okay. And then what'd you do once you put your gun back? Grabbed your phone.
I cleaned my head up.
After you, was he laying there in the living
Yeah, he
room?
was laying there still. It just took me a minute to compose myself. I mean, I was just shaking, and then I called.
Gotcha. Okay. We'll call 17 log. Stand by. I don't have engine 2811. Just out of curiosity, how long have you known him long?
Yeah, 15 years.
Is that how long they kind of been married, kind of
Yeah.
thing? Do you normally have a good relationship with the guy?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. When's the last time you guys saw each other, interacted?
Last time I saw him was when he lived out here before he moved. Oh, actually, last time I saw him was at my house. After my sister split up, he came to my house once.
This sister?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So did you sleep here last night?
Yeah.
So what time did you about wake up this morning?
6:30 or so.
Normal day this morning, wake up? Just
Vacation,
you, your
just hanging
sister,
out. Yeah.
niece?
Gonna go do something fun today.
Anybody else in the house besides you three this morning?
My nephew's at school.
It was just
Yeah.
you, your sister, and the kids.
Yeah.
And then he comes
He's
over,
out, yeah.
and that was about 20, 30 minutes ago, roughly.
Roughly.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
I couldn't understand what you were saying.
So I just needed more units because the wife is out front. She doesn't understand. I haven't told her that either. And the child is there too. So that's the wife and his child. That's right there. Okay. So what about, is this guy visiting? Yes, he's the brother of the wife. He was staying with his sister. Okay. Or it was I guess it was a domestic this morning. And they left. And it was just him and brother-in-law. And brother-in-law hit him in the head with a bat. His bedroom, grabbed his gun, put the bat down. The guy didn't, so he shot him in the chest. Okay. So he lives in Santan Valley, just over here visiting. Iterrogation. So husband, I guess, lives in Texas, but I haven't got all that information. But the husband, the deceased, doesn't live in the house. He lives out of state. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. So haven't even talked to her yet. Okay.
Well, I'm waiting for CID to get here.
Yeah.
See what they want to do. So,
Okay. So do you so you don't live in Santan Valley? So why is it just easier to just hang out here?
I was just here late last night, sleep tonight.
Gotcha. Okay. Are you and your sister pretty close?
Yeah, we're planning to go do something today.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I have the Alex Cox interview, but it is shot from behind, so he has that injury he says is from the baseball bat. And it's a rather long interview, so I am going to just be listening to the start so we can get an idea of what was said and just his retelling of events, since we just saw the body cam footage.
I sit a lot when I type, sitting in the car, driving around, and I want to stand a lot of times, but sometimes it's just too hard to right handstand.
Agreed.
I'm skipping through a bit here till we get to a part where they're talking.
Clean it. No, I didn't.
Okay. I think they were going to clear it, but
All right.
I wanted to walk through what
Yes.
happened today. Let me just write a couple things down. Out on
Yep.
Cherie Street?
Yep.
Okay. So... 6... STV 85140. Are you working right now?
I'm off this week.
Okay. Well, where do you work at? What do you do for them?
I'm drive truck. Mostly hauling waste.
Okay. What's the cell phone number for you? Okay. What about Soch? Very little understanding or knowledge of what happened. Patrol kind of, the officer that talked to you out there, it kind of turns into the phone game. So, you know what I mean? When they go, yeah, this is what he says, but they're kind of rambling through it real fast. And same with your sister. Your sister's name is Lori or Lauren?
Lori.
L-O-R-I. L-O-R-I? Okay. So, the big thing I want to do is just make sure that we have all the details accurate and factual.
Yeah.
Because kind of some of the information we got from Patrol didn't really match up what Lori told us compared to... So, walk me through what happened today.
Well, I stayed the night at my sister's.
Okay.
We were planning to go do something fun day. We hadn't really decided. I was thinking maybe I was going to take her to the range.
Okay.
Or go do something.
Okay.
I don't know, take JD to some water park or movies or whatever. So I stayed there last night, and then this morning Charles showed up. And I don't know what started it.
And Charles is your brother-in-law. He and Lori are married?
Yes.
Okay.
So he showed up. He was following her and yelling. And then I got between them. And then Tylee came out with her bat. And I had separated for a minute, and then my sister walked around me. They're in the living room. And then Charles was following Lori and yelling. And Tylee told him to get back. She took her bat like that and shoved him, and he took the bat away. And I said, "What are you doing?" And I got between them, and then he hit me. And I just went down, and when I got up, he was still yelling. And so I went into the bedroom where I was staying and grabbed my gun. I came back.
Okay.
And told him to put the gun down, or the bat down. And he came to me and was saying, what are you going to do? Like that, and come to me with the bat? I said, put it down. He wouldn't. He came at me, so.
Okay. So, when that argument first started between Lori and Charles, where in the house were they?
I don't know.
Okay. Where did you first...
I was in my bedroom.
Okay, so you were in your bedroom, and you heard the argument?
When they came right towards me.
Okay, so they were coming down the hallway towards the bedroom?
Yes.
Okay, so you hear the argument, you step out, what's the first thing that you see?
Charles chasing after Lori and yelling.
Okay. Had Tylee already gotten the bat? Did he already have the bat? Okay.
No.
So Charles is coming towards Lori.
He's coming towards Lori, and I shoved him back.
Okay.
And I said, what are you doing? Because he's coming at her aggressively.
Okay.
He's a big dude, so he's not going to hurt my sister.
Okay. So he's coming at her.
Yeah.
And you shoved him back.
Yeah.
What happened right after that? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
He got back up and he comes right to me, doesn't look at me, and continues to yell at Lori.
Okay.
So he's maybe this far away.
Are you in the hallway of the house? Or
right close to the doorway of that bedroom.
Of the bedroom you were staying?
Yes.
Okay. So you're right near the bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
So then, I don't remember why, he backed up, and then my sister came around behind me, and they ended up in the living room, and then while they're on the way to the living room, Tylee comes out of her bedroom, which is adjacent to the one I was staying in, with her bat, yelling at Charles. Actually, she was behind Charles at first, and then she cut around in front of him in the living room.
Okay. So he then went back towards the living room?
Yes.
After you shoved him, did he fall to the ground when you shoved him?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so he falls to the ground, he gets back up, you're blocking between him and Lori.
Yes.
And he basically is talking past you, still yelling at Lori.
Yes, exactly.
What's he saying?
I don't remember.
Okay. So, as you're standing there between them, what happened right after that? Is that when Tylee came out with her bat?
No, he backed up.
Okay.
He yelled something and then.
So obviously the daughter is going to be a witness to this, right? This part of it. And he's saying he doesn't know what Charles was saying. And I do wonder if he does remember. I'm assuming he does. And that he simply doesn't want to say because the things he was saying would raise a lot of suspicion with the police.
And he backed up, and then Lori went by me and around me in the hallway. So he backed up, I cleared the doorway. So then she came around, and then Charles was behind her, pursuing her again aggressively.
Okay.
Tylee came out, yelled at him with a bat.
Okay. And are you guys in the living room then, or still in the hallway?
It starts in the hallway and then goes to the living room.
Okay.
So Tylee gets around in the living room, he stops, Tylee goes around to the front of him, tells him to back off.
What I find it easiest to do in situations like this is to kind of draw like a rough floor plan.
Sure. So we'll make this the living room. All right, and then this is the hallway.
Okay.
And then this is the kitchen.
And to be clear, you're not missing seeing him draw this. We can't see it. The camera is at the back of his head.
So Tylee's bedroom is here, my bedroom is here, and then the living room is here.
Okay, we just put living room on there so I know, and then you said that's kitchen.
Yep.
And then
so the doorway's here.
okay. Is this area of the house where all of this incident was focused at? Okay.
Yep. And then there's another bedroom here. This is JJ's bedroom.
Okay. So do you first get involved when they're down by your room?
They come all the way into the... She comes in the room, he comes right here, and I stopped him right here.
Okay, so she came into your room.
Yep.
Okay, so she comes into your room. He's coming at her aggressively, and that's when you pushed him.
Yep.
So you push him down.
Yep.
And then he gets back up.
Yep.
And
then he yells, and then he backs up.
Okay.
And then Lori goes around and goes around him, and they're still going at it.
Okay.
Right? And then Tylee comes out when she hears what's going on. She has her bat.
Okay. Is it a metal bat?
Yeah, it's
Plastic
a
bat?
aluminum bat.
Okay.
So she comes at him, because she's tiny, so that's like her thing. You know, she doesn't have anything, but she wants to help defend her mom.
Okay.
So she comes at him, and then when
they've already moved back towards the living room.
So they're going this way.
Okay.
So Lori's here, Tylee's here, Charles is here. I'm here. Tylee goes at him with a bat. Then he takes the bat away from her, and I step towards him, and he turned around and cracked me.
Is that for the injury that's caused on your head? Okay.
Well, there was some shoving first, and I got spun around.
Okay.
And then popped. So I go back here, grab my gun, and come back out. He's still yelling and threatening me.
Okay.
And then, so I was standing here, and he was there.
Okay. So you're saying right there, he's right here.
He's there.
And you said, what happened? What happened when you came out with the gun?
I said, put that bat down. He's like, what are you going to do? So you're going to threaten me? I was like, no, I'm just going to defend myself. So you put that bat down. He goes, what are you going to do like that? And he came at me.
Okay.
And he'd already hit me in the head.
Okay. So he came at you with the bat. What was he doing with the bat when he came at you?
It was in his right hand like this.
Okay. So he's holding it low and he's coming at you? Okay. So you gave him, how many times would you say you told him to put the bat down?
Once.
Once? Okay. And then he started advancing towards you?
Yes.
How many shots did you fire?
I don't know. A couple.
Okay. Were Tylee and your sister...
I didn't see him, so I don't know where they were.
Where's JJ at during all this?
He's already out in the car.
Okay, so he's sitting out in the car.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. But you, as far as you think or understand, you're not sure where they were.
Correct.
He's in the corner of the living room.
They were no longer in the room.
Okay.
When I come back out.
Okay. So they're out of the room, so it's just you and him.
Yes.
And he basically comes at you with the bat.
Yeah.
You tell him to put it down.
Yeah.
He's threatening, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
And what'd you tell him?
I didn't say anything. He's coming at me, and I'm holding the gun.
Okay.
If you're going to attack someone with a gun, you got to be ready for the repercussions.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure, because he basically, you had said it earlier that he had the bat.
Yeah.
And he's asked, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
And you had already told him to put the bat down, and then he just came at you, and you shot him.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're thinking a couple times?
It was more than one shot.
Okay. So more than one shot. What kind of gun was it?
45.
Okay. What make?
It's a Springfield XDM.
Okay. So it's an XDM 45.
Yeah.
What type of ammo were you carrying in? Do you know?
Just standard.
Like full metal jacket?
Yeah.
Target shooting? Okay. Yeah. So you fire a couple times.
Yep.
You don't know where they're at.
They're gone.
They're gone. What happened right after that?
Right after that, I went to the kitchen and rinsed my hands off because I had blood on the back of my head, and then I went back into the room and put the gun down and grabbed my phone, and then went back into the kitchen and called 911.
Okay. And then, did you see your sister and Tylee again? Did they come back in or not?
Not till they drove up.
Okay. Then they drove up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
When they drove up outside.
Gotcha. What's going on with Charles and Lori? I mean, does he live there?
No.
Okay. So where's he living now?
He lives in Houston.
Okay. For work, or are they separated, or?
Separated and for work.
Okay. So both. How long have they been
split
separated?
up, January.
Okay. So 6 months or so, 6, 7 months?
Yeah. He's had some pretty erratic behavior since that split up.
Okay.
He came and threatened me and Tylee at my house in February or March or whatever.
Okay.
And there was a little confrontation from mostly between Tylee and Charles.
Were the police involved in that one?
No.
Okay.
No. I was just supervising to make sure that he didn't hurt her.
Okay. So, was he working out of state before January? Or?
He always has worked out of state.
Okay, so he always works out of state. What's he do for a living?
He does annuities.
Okay. So, what was he in town for today? Does he come into town often, or?
Occasionally to see JJ.
Okay. Is he JJ and Tylee's dad?
He's JJ's dad. Well, actually, he's Charles's nephew. He's his niece's kid.
JJ is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she was a meth addict, and they adopted JJ.
Okay, so they adopted JJ,
yeah.
but Tylee is not?
Not his.
Okay.
So he would be a stepdad, I guess.
Okay, so stepdad. When's the last time he's been in town, or when's the last time you've seen him?
Last time I saw him was at my house in February, March.
Okay. Was he here last night? Did you guys have any interactions with last night?
No.
Is there any history of domestic violence between Lori and Charles?
Not physically that I know of.
Okay. So, how old is Charles?
60, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. How old's your sister?
44 or 5.
Okay.
Does it say that I don't know?
I have to do the math. Don't worry about it.
It's hard enough remembering my own age.
Right. Each birthday, you're like, that didn't happen.
After 45, who cares?
Is there anything else that you could think of that I didn't ask about that I need to know right now?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. Did Lori ever say, like, in the last couple of days that Charles was coming to town?
Yeah, she said he was coming to pick up JJ.
Okay. So you guys were expecting him to show up today?
Yeah.
Okay. So you knew, okay, it wasn't like he just showed up unexpectedly?
No, it wasn't a surprise or anything like that.
But you don't know what they were arguing or fighting about?
His behavior was a surprise, but him showing up was not a surprise.
Okay. Let me just walk you through my understanding of it to make sure that I'm accurate. You were in your room.
Yep.
Had you even gotten up and like been out of your room this morning?
Yeah, brushed my teeth.
Okay. So you're in your room, you hear...
I'm just on the phone, and then I just hear them coming around the hall quick.
Had you seen Charles before, or like that morning?
No.
Okay, so you hear them arguing.
Yeah.
And
First time I see him is at the doorway.
At your doorway.
Then I shoved him back.
So Lori comes into your room.
Yep.
You're in your room.
Yep.
You get up at the doorway and basically get between him and Lori.
Yep.
You push Charles back.
Yep.
He probably fell down to the ground or did fall to the ground.
He stumbled back.
Okay. So he stumbles back. He comes right back up,
Yep.
and he's talking past you,
Yes.
still yelling at Lori.
Yes.
But you don't know what he was yelling about.
I don't remember.
Okay. So at some point in time, Charles backs up. Lori comes out, and they both go around you and towards the living room.
Yes.
Tylee comes out of her room with a bat.
Yep.
And basically, they've made their way into the living room.
Yes.
So Tylee pokes her dad in the bat.
In the front, in the
In the
chest.
front. Okay, so she's come around this way.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's come around.
So this is Tylee, and that's Charles.
Okay, so she pokes him in the bat,
Yep.
or in the chest with the bat.
Yep.
You know how many times about, or
Just once, and then he grabbed the bat and took it
So he
away.
grabs the bat, and takes it away. You come towards him.
Yep.
And then what happened right after that?
He shoved me and spun me around,
Okay.
and then cracked me in the back of the head.
Cracked you in the back of the head. He hit you one time.
Yep.
Okay. So you go back to your room.
I stumbled forward, and then I went back in there.
Did you fall to the ground when you got hit with the bat?
No, my head bounced.
Okay. So you go back to your room.
Yep.
Get the gun.
Yep.
Come back to the living room.
Yep.
Now, Tylee and Lori are gone.
Yep.
And
It's just me and Charles in the living room.
okay. And Charles, what's he doing again?
He's got the bat,
Okay.
and he's
No police called at this point.
looking at me, and he's going, "What?" And I told him, I said, "Charles, put that bat down." And he goes, "What are you gonna do about it?"
How are you holding the gun when that happened?
Holding it right
Okay, so
at
you
him.
pointed at him.
Yeah.
You tell him, Charles, put the gun down,
Yeah,
or put the bat down.
Mhm.
And what did he say?
He's like, "What are you gonna do about it?"
Okay.
And then comes at me.
Okay. And then you fire a couple times.
Yeah.
But you're not sure how many. You know it was more than one.
I'm pretty sure it was 2.
2? Okay, 2 shots. Where were you aiming on his body?
Just center.
Okay, so you're pretty sure 2 shots center mass.
Yeah.
He falls to the ground. You don't see Lori or Tylee anymore.
Correct.
You go to the kitchen, grab a rag for your head,
Yeah. Toss some paper towels and wash my hands off.
and then go back to your room, put the gun down,
Yep.
grab your phone,
Yep.
come back to the kitchen and call in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they walked me through. I tried to do CPR.
Okay. Anything else that you could think of that I need to know, or that's important to this?
That's all there is.
Okay. Trying to think if there's anything else that I need to know. I'm going to get a tech out here to take some photographs of you if you're okay with that. So if you want to hang tight for me, you need the restroom or anything?
I'm good.
So that was the start of his interview. I am sorry that Hugh got blue as the background, but again, he's got that wound to the back of his head, and I would hate to have YouTube just... I would hate YouTube to, like, restrict the video because of it, and also some people are just squeamish, so I thought it was just best to do it this way. So this is later in the interview, and I was able to find an angle that I can actually show you him. It's still not great. It's not like directly facing him, but it is him, and it's on the other side from the injury, so I think I can show this to you. This is just another part of the interview where he speaks.
All right, so
It's fun staring at nothing.
so just want to kind of go back through a couple things real quick.
Yep.
Your sister had mentioned something kind of historically. I guess she said she just recently moved back. She went to Houston or somewhere, and then recently moved back about 3 weeks ago. She was saying something about Charles texting your other brother. Is it Andy?
Adam.
Adam? Do you know anything about that? Okay.
Nope.
So I'll kind of walk through in order.
Sure.
When the argument initially came your way, you said you were on the phone?
No.
Okay, you were just in the room.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said you were on the phone.
No.
So you weren't on the phone with anybody.
No, my phone was in that room.
Okay, your phone was in the room. So were you?
Yeah.
And then they came your way.
Yeah.
And then you're not sure where Lori and Tylee were when you came
When I
back.
came
with
back
the
out,
gun.
that's correct.
Okay. Where was your gun at in the room?
It was in my bag in a case at the foot of the bed. So the bed was here, and then the gun was here in a case.
Okay. Inside like a duffel bag or something?
Yeah, it was like a zip, a little orange bag.
Okay.
And then my case was in there.
Okay. Is it the hard plastic?
Yeah, the hard
case?
plastic with the foam and the extra clips and everything.
Okay. Is there a reason you spent the night there last night?
No, not really.
Okay.
Just hang out. We were going to hang out today.
Okay. Did your sister ever tell you she was concerned for her safety or well-being for Charles coming there?
No.
Okay.
But watching him interact with her, I was.
Okay. So, do you normally carry a gun with you?
Yeah.
Okay. But you didn't have it on your person during this?
No.
Okay. When we talked about Tylee basically having the bat, Charles taking the bat
Yeah.
away from Tylee, you said there was a struggle after that.
Yeah.
What happened? I mean,
I grabbed
to
her
the
from
best-
behind,
Okay.
and then we went to the ground. And then we separated, and he hit me, and then that's when I left.
Okay. So you grabbed him from behind.
Yeah.
And how come you grabbed him from behind?
Because he was in front of me, and he was going after Tylee with a bat.
What was he doing with the bat?
He just grabbed it from her, and then I jumped in. I don't know what he did with it.
So he was going after Tylee with
Yes,
the bat,
yes.
and you grabbed him from behind,
Yes.
around the neck or?
Over the shoulder like this.
Okay. You grabbed him from behind.
Yeah.
You pulled him back, and you guys
I
both
pulled him
went
back, we
to the
both went
ground.
to the ground, yeah.
Okay. Did you see him swing the bat at you?
No.
Okay. So you pulled him to the ground. You got back up.
I got back up. He hit me in the back of the head. I don't know if it was with the bat or not. I assumed it was.
Okay.
Because he had it.
Okay. So he hit you in the back of the head.
Yeah.
And you go to the room.
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't know where Lori or Tylee are when you go back to the room.
Correct.
Okay. You come back from the room.
Yeah.
And you basically get you initial or mark kind of here on this corner.
Yeah.
That you're basically at the corner of the living room.
Well, this is the hallway here, so there's like a wall here that divides the kitchen.
Okay.
So I'm somewhere in this area.
Okay. And he's in the living room.
Yes.
And he still has the bat.
Yes.
Is he now focused at you, or
Yes.
is he focused at Lori?
He's focused at me, and he's yelling at me, and then he moves towards me.
What was he saying to you? Do you remember?
Not really.
Okay.
I just remember yelling.
Okay.
And then I was watching more body language, and when someone aggressively comes at you.
Okay. Are you?
How very convenient that he forgets all the words but remembers everything else, I guess?
Do you have your CCW?
Yeah.
Okay, so you, so he's basically coming at you and he's yelling. You're watching his body language.
Yeah.
And you said you told him, and I didn't. When we're talking, I'm not going to try to not take notes and listen to what you're saying.
I'm trying to calm the situation.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop your bat, and then he's fuck you and whatever.
Okay.
Coming at me, and
Did you ever tell him to leave? Or?
Well, now he just changed the wording of what was said to him before he shot. That was the only word. It reminds me of Sarah Boone, right? Sarah Boone remembers, according to her, now, after, years, she suddenly remembers the few minutes between taking those videos and exactly what happened, which she thought would save her. He doesn't remember any of the words or anything like that, except for just in that little time frame that might save him, but even then he's changing it up already.
Did you say drop the bat, or?
First I just said drop the bat.
Okay. And then did you say anything else after that?
I didn't have time.
Okay. So he came after you with the bat. Yep. He's kind of holding it in his hand.
Got in his right hand.
Okay. You fire a couple times.
Yep.
And then you go to the kitchen.
Correct.
And then back to the bedroom.
Yes.
Okay. When you went back to the bedroom, you washed your hands.
No,
you washed your hands in the kitchen.
Yep.
You put your gun back in your room.
Yep.
Where'd you set it at?
Just on the floor.
Okay, so you set it on the floor. Get your phone.
Yep.
Call 911.
Yep.
And then when did you realize Lori had gone? Did you call her?
No.
Okay. So you called 911. Did you do CPR on him?
I did.
Okay.
I tried.
Okay. But you weren't on the, I must have mistaken you. I thought you said you were on the phone.
Which, remember, they say they don't think was the case.
When
no.
Did you hear them arguing about his phone?
I don't. All I heard was her say, "Don't touch me," and then him coming right after her.
Did you hear them arguing about his phone? The phone that Lori had.
Okay. You said that a couple months ago, Tylee was at your house, and he came over. What happened? Tell me a little bit more about that.
He was going insane trying to locate Lori because Lori wasn't talking to him.
Okay.
They had split up. So he was bugging everybody in the family, blowing up their emails, phones, just sending text messages, just anything he could do to try and get somebody to tell Lori to contact him. So he was just spazzing out. So Tylee and I were pulling up to my house, and he followed us, and then he sped up and blocked my driveway, and he got out and ran up to me real aggressive, like he was going to do something, and he just stopped and talked, and then Tylee got out and yelled at him, and then that lasted, 15 minutes in the front.
Okay.
A lot of screaming Tylee at Charles, and Charles trying to leave and her not letting him because she wanted to get everything out that was bothering her.
Okay. So he didn't go after Tylee at that time?
Physically, he did not do anything.
Have you spent a lot of time around Charles?
Yeah.
Is he hot-headed?
Not normally.
Okay. So have you ever, besides the argument between him and Tylee, have you ever seen him like you saw him today?
No.
Okay.
No.
How would you describe him today?
Very aggressive.
Okay.
Physically aggressive. Going after Tylee, going after Lori, going after me.
Okay.
I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen him behave like that. I was shocked.
Okay. How long have they been together?
15 years, maybe?
Okay.
Oh, a good while.
And did they live here before?
Yeah, they lived here a couple times.
Okay.
They lived here. They lived in Austin. Then they moved to Chandler. Then they moved to Hawaii. And they moved back here. And then I think they split up. And then she went to live in Houston for 2 months, and I wasn't working out, so then she came back here and got a place.
Okay. And
then he just come back out here.
And he got a place, or she came back out here and got a place. How long ago was that?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Within 2 months.
Okay, so the last couple months. But she never said anything about having you come over because she didn't feel safe with him or because he was showing up or anything like that? Okay. Is it normal for you?
She had expressed that he had threatened her in some email and text messages.
Okay.
Saying he was going to stop her or destroy her or something to that effect.
Well, we went through some of those text messages before this video, where he made it very clear he did threaten. He threatened to expose her.
And when did she tell you that?
Oh, I don't know. A couple weeks ago when she got the text.
Okay. So that was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we talked about it, but it wasn't anything.
Gotcha. So you weren't under the impression that she had you there to make sure that he was, didn't cause an issue or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you had the gun, so you didn't bring a gun for that purpose.
I always carry it.
Okay.
And I had my other gun in the truck, And my niece just gave me a gun. I thought we'd maybe go to the shooting range, because my niece gave me a 380.
Okay.
She didn't want it anymore.
Gotcha.
And, so I was going to take it from my sister because she's got tiny hands. I was going to let her shoot it.
Okay. Just recreational for sport, not because you felt you needed it for
no, targets.
Self-protection or anything.
No, I never considered Charles to be violent or a threat before today.
Okay. And when you grabbed him, when he was going after Tylee and your sister, you grabbed him around the shoulder, you yanked him to the ground, but you never saw him swing the bat at you at that time.
Correct.
Okay. When you got up, what happened right after you got up?
Well, we went to the ground and separated, and then I was getting up like this, and my head bounced.
Okay. So as you were getting up is when you felt this right to the head. And then you got up. What did you do? Did you go?
I just went straight to the room.
Okay.
Because I said, hey, this needs to calm down.
Okay.
And that's what I was hoping would happen.
So when you got back with the gun, you were assuming that he was gonna.
I thought he would back down at that point.
Okay. And he didn't.
He did not.
Okay. Anything else you could think of that I need to know that we haven't talked about?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. You don't need any medical attention for your head?
I'd like to get that cut cleaned up.
Okay. I think we're almost done. So if we're almost done, we'll probably get you and Lori and Tylee back to the house. You won't be able to go in.
Yeah.
Because we're working at this as a scene.
Absolutely.
How did the injury on your arm happen?
I'm guessing somewhere in the tussle.
Okay. Were there any strikes thrown besides you getting hit in the back of the head?
No, just me shoving him.
Okay. And that was initial in the bedroom?
That was exactly.
Okay.
That's when I got involved.
Okay. And then the only other time he got physical with anybody is when he was going after Lori and Tylee, and you grabbed him around the neck,
correct,
dragged him back, and you both fell to the ground.
That's correct.
Okay. No, we're just running a criminal history to make sure that you're not a prohibited possessor, so there's no felony convictions.
Correct. There was a confessed felony, aggravated assault.
Okay.
In Austin, Texas, in 2007. I think.
Have your rights been restored? Or are you legally able to? So your rights are restored. You're
all done.
Able to possess a firearm.
I was never convicted.
Oh, okay.
Pled guilty, but they had deferred adjudication in Texas, so I completed probation, and then.
Gotcha.
That was that.
Okay, so it's an open-ended thing. So it's a misdemeanor now.
Well, whatever. It's just on there as a whatever. I don't know what the technical record is.
Okay.
I know I went to court, and she said all your rights restored, and gave me the paper, and I'll find it.
Gotcha.
After 4 years.
All right. Hang tight. I'm gonna go see if they're done with Lori. We'll get you guys all together.
So there was the Alex Cox interview. The important parts that what I would consider the important parts of the interview. Now I would like to show you the Tylee Ryan interview. Now, while I know we are going in order, I do think it is important to mention that Tylee Ryan was killed by the very people she is trying to protect in this interview. And I think it's worth keeping that in mind as we watch.
Hi. Hi. So you have to spell your name because we're all taking guesses on how to spell it and we're not sure.
Tylee.
Okay, I was right. And what's your last name?
Ryan, Ryan.
And your birthday. And then, do you have a phone?
Yeah.
What's your phone number? Okay. So I know this is going to kind of sound like kind of a silly question because it's super broad. But can you basically tell me what happened today? And you can start at whatever place makes sense for you to kind of start and explain. I'll probably kind of ask you questions as we go a little bit.
Okay. So I woke up probably around like 7:50, I want to say, because I heard yelling from like right outside my door. And I don't even know where, but I immediately like jumped up, and I have a baseball bat because when I was living at my uncle's by myself, I just wanted something to like feel safer, and I'm not old enough to get like pepper spray or anything, so I was like, okay, I'll get a baseball bat. So I have that.
So your bedroom, you said it right outside your bedroom door, and I didn't go in the house, so I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage. So what is your bedroom door open to?
My bedroom door open, so the room that my uncle was staying in, the room that's kind of like the guest room, if my room's right here, that's right there.
Okay.
And then my little brother's room, and then kitchen's kind of back here, so it's like a little hallway, and then right here is kind of where everything happened.
Okay.
Like the big, you walk in and...
Like big great room, kind of living room?
Yeah, right now it just has mirrors up because my mom wanted a dance room,
Okay.
so yeah.
Okay.
kind of unconventional, but...
Hey, whatever makes you happy. It's your guys' house, so...
Right. So, yeah, I immediately just jumped up and I grabbed my baseball bat and I opened the door, and it was my stepdad, you know, outside the doorway, and then my uncle kind of in the doorway, and then I could hear my mom behind him, and he was just screaming at both of them, like, I don't even know what he was saying, because honestly I was just too, like wired, I guess. So I told him to take a few steps back. I was like, you're too close, you need to step back, and he was like, don't tell me what to do, and I just kind of just stood there, and then my uncle kind of moved out of the way, and then my mom kind of went past him and into, like, the big room.
Okay.
Where everything happened, and so I walked with them, and then I...
So they were more in the hallway?
Yeah, they were at, like, the end of the hallway, basically, and so my mom walked all the way around, and he kind of followed them, and I just kind of stood. My uncle was, like, right here, and then my stepdad right here, and then me and my mom were kind of right here. And I didn't do anything with the baseball bat, I kind of just held it there, and he was getting really close to my mom, so I kind of stuck it out, like, between them, and they were both just yelling, and he was like, if you hit me with that baseball bat, you're going to go to jail, and I just kind of stood there with the baseball bat, and I didn't really say anything.
When you said they were yelling, who was yelling?
It was mostly my stepdad.
Okay.
Well, he was really the only one, like, yelling. My mom was kind of, like, responding, but I honestly couldn't tell you what they were saying. It was kind of just, like, all jumbled up in my head. And so I just kind of stuck the baseball bat out there, and then he just grabbed it and tried to take it, so I held on to the end, and then eventually I fell, and he kind of took it into his hands, like he was going to do something with it, and that's when...
So when you fell, he ended up with the bat?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I fell to the ground, and then my uncle kind of, like, I saw him take a step back, so my uncle, I think, grabbed him and kind of took him back so he couldn't, like, do anything.
You saw your stepdad, like, take a step back?
Take a step back, because he was really close to begin with, and then and so my mom said to go with JJ, and so I ran out the door, and then I kind of just stood there with my little brother. He was in the front seat of the car, and so I just kind of opened the door and just stood there, and, like, he was trying to get out, and I was like, no, we have to stay. We have to stay in. And I was like, oh, like, I told him, like, do you want to go in the Jeep? And then he was like, no, and then I realized that my car was blocked in, so I couldn't anyways. I was like, okay, like, just stay here, and then eventually my mom came out, and then we left from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what happened inside of the house? Has your mom kind of explained it all to you?
I just kind of asked her, like, because I heard a noise, which I know what it was now, but it sounded like, because I knew that the baseball bat was in there, it sounded like someone, like, took it and hit it really hard against the floor.
Okay.
And so I was kind of like, I was okay, right, because that's my uncle, so I just wanted to make sure that, like, my stepdad didn't do anything to my uncle and stuff, and so she was like, no, like, I was fine, like, we're just going to take JJ to school, and I was like, okay, so I just got in the car, and then we went to Burger King because my little brother wanted breakfast, which was chicken fries for some reason.
Okay, I do dinner for breakfast all the time.
Breakfast for dinner and dinner for breakfast.
So, to kind of back up a little bit, so you had talked about your stepdad, when you put the bat out, your stepdad was coming towards your mom. Can you describe to me a little bit better kind of what was going on there? Like, is there a reason you put the bat up?
Yeah, he was walking towards my mom, and I just didn't want him to do anything, so I kind of just stuck out the bat. Like, my mom was right beside me, and he was right there, so it wasn't, like, between them.
Okay.
It was kind of just, like, I just stuck it out to be, like, keep your distance, kind of.
When you say you didn't want him to do anything, what did you think he was going to do?
Hit her.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, for the most part, been pretty, like, mundane, but there have been a few, like, violent times with him when I was really scared that he was going to hit me or hit my mom, like, just because everything was kind of crazy. Me and him have always kind of not gotten along, like, just since I was little, and so there have been a few times that we've gotten in fights and stuff like that, and so, so I'm just kind of always scared of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so that happened, and he grabbed the bat from you. So kind of tell me that again real quick.
So I kind of stuck it out, and this is when he was like, if you hit me with that baseball bat, you're going to jail, and I didn't say anything, because I'm like, okay. And so I'm holding it by, like, the end of it, like, the place where you hold it, and so he kind of took it, and I kind of, like, lunged forward and kind of lost, like, my footing, and so my mom was like, just let go, and so, I kind of, like, slipped and I fell, kind of on, like, my side.
Okay.
Yeah, and then from that, my mom said to go to the car, so I just got up and ran out the door.
Okay, did you see, when you fell towards your side, did you see what he did with the bat?
No, I wasn't really looking in that direction, because from where I fell, the door was kind of more in my line of vision, because I fell looking this way and the door was, like, right there, so I didn't look back.
So he was at a different line of sight than what you were looking at?
Yeah.
Okay. And then at some point you saw him kind of take a step back, and from what you're saying, and tell me if I'm wrong or not, you didn't necessarily see your uncle pulling back, but
Yeah.
it seems like that maybe...
It seems like he wouldn't have taken a step back
Okay.
on his own, so it's more of an assumption than anything.
Okay.
I didn't see him physically take him back.
And does that make sense based on where your uncle was at that time?
Yeah, he was behind him, because
Okay.
he wasn't on this side with me and my mom, so he was
Okay.
behind him.
Okay.
Because that's kind of just the order where everyone walked out.
And when that happened and then your mom told you to go, did you see what happened with your stepdad and uncle?
No.
Okay. And then once you went outside with your brother, you never came back inside?
Oh, I went to go get my mom's purse
Okay.
from inside so that we could have, like, her wallet and everything, but this was all happening, like I said, like, in the bigger room right here, and so I went through the garage door, and so the garage door is right here, and then there's, like, a little hallway, and then this is kind of where everything is, and then this is my mom's room.
Okay.
So when I went in, I kind of, like, just tuned everything out, ran to my mom's closet, ran back, so I didn't see anything, I didn't hear anything.
When did you go back in and get her purse?
After my mom came out.
Okay. So after you heard that loud noise?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you heard the loud noise, was your mom outside or inside?
I'm trying to think. I think she was inside when it happened and the door opened, like, immediately after.
Okay. So very quickly after the door opened?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't, like, a long period of time, because I remember not, like, thinking about it for that long, and if my mom hadn't come out immediately, I would have, been thinking about it for a lot longer than I had.
So, obviously I don't know, like, your mom and stepdad and uncle, like you do, I don't. So, can you tell me kind of where the three of them were at, kind of emotionally, and how they were behaving when all this was happening?
When all this was happening, or, like, before?
When all this was happening. So, like, when you came out of your room and he took the bat from you and...
Yeah, so my stepdad was like, he was like, I don't even know how to explain it. He honestly just looked like kind of a crazy person.
Okay.
Like, screaming, and, like, his face was beet red. He just looked, like, really mad. I remember when he took the bat from me, I saw his face for, like, a split second, and I honestly, like, it didn't even look like him. He just looked like pure, like, rage. Like, he was just seeing red. So, I haven't really seen him, like, all the way like that before. That's, like, the craziest I've ever seen him. And then my uncle was kind of calm, like, not super calm, obviously it was, like, a stressful situation, but he's, like, I don't know, he was kind of just standing there in the doorway, kind of just being protective of my mom, but he wasn't yelling or really saying anything.
Okay.
And my mom was just kind of, he was yelling and my mom was kind of just, like, talking.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But you don't remember, if you do, like, what your mom was saying at all, or what he was mad about?
No, not really, I'm sorry.
Okay. It's okay.
Honestly, like,
we're talking about something that probably happened over 2 seconds of time. So.
Yeah, honestly, it feels like 2 seconds and 40 minutes at the same time.
Yeah.
So, I don't remember what they were really saying. I just kind of heard yelling over everything. I don't know. I kind of just do that whenever things are, like, really loud. I kind of just, like, tune what people are saying out, because I don't know, just yelling isn't fun, obviously, for a kid to hear. And with my biological dad, I always heard him, like, screaming and stuff, so I kind of just learned how to, like, tune it out.
So when you woke up to yelling, and you had said you weren't sure what they were actually saying, did you know who was yelling when you heard the yelling?
Yeah, I knew it was my stepdad. Well, at first I kind of didn't. Like, when you first wake up, you're kind of disoriented. And then I remembered that my stepdad was, like, coming in to take my little brother to school today, so I immediately, like, knew it was him. And then my uncle I knew was staying, so I knew that was him. And then my mom, obviously, I knew that was her. Yeah.
And then, so you stepped out of your room and you took the bat with you. Is there a reason why you took the bat with you?
Honestly, I think that was kind of just, like, first instinct. Like, obviously, I didn't ever hit him with the bat or anything like that. It was kind of just for, like, security, I guess, to know that I had it. I didn't do anything with it. In hindsight, I probably just shouldn't have brought it out at all because it caused more trouble. But it was kind of just first instinct, and it was right by my bed. So I kind of just, like, jumped up and grabbed it.
So I'm trying not to put, like, words in your mouth and stuff.
You're good.
So was there something in particular that you were concerned about that you would have taken the bat with you?
Only if he had been violent towards, like, me or my mom.
I'm assuming you're talking about your stepdad?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna take the bat and like do something with it. It was kind of just like, I need something in my hands to like feel safer.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So my kind of second dumb question is, and I don't know that there necessarily is, but I always kind of want to make sure, is there anything that, you know, we didn't talk about or I didn't ask you about, or anything that you think is important or anything that I should know? Because it's harder for you because you were there, and so I'm asking questions about something I didn't even see. So I just want to make sure like I didn't miss something or anything that you think I should know about.
That was pretty much it.
Okay. And if you think of something, you know, in 5 minutes and tomorrow or whatever else, we can always talk again. It's totally fine. So I talked to your mom about, we have some victim services people that work here. They're not cops. They're really good at what they do. So I really want your mom to talk to them, because I think it would be good that your mom has, and you guys have some, maybe kind of some extra support if you need anything, kind of go moving on. So I'm going to check in with your mom real quick, and if she's good to go, then I'm going to introduce one of them to you guys. That way you guys can talk before I take you guys back. Okay? Sound fair? Yeah. Okay. Do you have any questions for me at all?
No.
Okay. If you do, let me know, okay? Okay.
Sad to watch when you know how it ends. Now it is time to cover the Lori Daybell interview the day of her husband's death. Now, I picked this particular angle while it isn't the best at certain portions because it lets you get a really, really good look at the facial expressions of Lori Daybell, even if you're on a mobile device. I wanted to make sure that was the focus along with what she had to say. Let's get into it.
Teachers in high school don't care. They're like, you're not here to do the work, or don't. Like, they don't care.
Well, and I think with high school, it's like, they're just pumping.
But when she was in elementary and junior high, all the teachers worked with her. They were nice about it. But by high school, there's so many kids that just don't care. And I was like, just take it. You're so smart. Let's just take it and see if you pass it. She passed it. Like,
and got a really good score?
Yeah, she passed it with, like, college ready in every category the first time.
Well, and now she can do what she wants. So
exactly.
She's better off that way. Okay. I know Lori's your first name, right? Yeah. Laur.
Lor.
I'm already pausing it, but that's her bragging about the daughter she has killed.
Okay. And then what's your last name?
Vallow. Vallow.
And your date of birth? And your phone number? And you live at the house, right? Okay. Okay, I know this sounds silly, but it's probably the easiest way to start, is just to tell me what happened. And then, so you can start what makes the most sense to you, and we'll just work our way through, and I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions just to kind of clarify.
Sure.
So I know you talked to the initial patrol officer.
And he just got information.
Okay. So yeah, if you can just kind of tell me kind of what happened. It sounds like some of this may have started last night or something along those lines.
Right.
So start where you think it makes the most sense.
Okay. So,
I told you. It's a great question.
Well, so we moved into this house 3 weeks ago because he offered to get me a house here where all my family is. So we were in Houston. And so he's like, we had decided to separate or whatever. So he's like, well, I'll pay for a house for you and for JJ and whatever, because he's all about JJ. He's never about Tylee, but he's all about JJ. Because we adopted him together. He's his great nephew. We adopted him as a baby. And so we adopted him as a baby, and so we've been raising him together. And he travels all the time for business, so he's used to just going back and forth. So he's always gone like Monday through Friday. So he came when we first moved in and brought me stuff from Houston, like a U-Haul, and then he hasn't been back. But it's all these threats on my phone all the time, you know, like whatever, all these things. And then he told me...
What kind of threats?
Just... You'd have to read them to see, but he's always mad at me, right? And he doesn't want a divorce, but I don't like him and don't want to deal with him, so that's just how it is. Like, so we married for 14 years, we dealt with him for 14 years, and him being horrible to her. Like, he gets in huge fights with her, a lot of things. But anyway, so he said, I'm coming Wednesday night, all of a sudden. I want to see JJ. I told him, I said, I will never keep JJ from you. You can come see him whenever you want to, come take him to school, whatever. Like, I'm not going to do that.
So when you initially moved, he had said he was going to buy you a house. So you moved here with your
Yeah, he was going to rent us a house.
And so you moved.
All my family lives here. So we lived here for a long time.
Okay.
And then he moved us to Houston.
Okay.
And we were there with my son. He was out of school. He didn't have any of his like services, his DDD, his anything. He like ripped him out of school and said, we're moving.
Okay.
And I didn't go with him at first. And he took him. And I let him take him. And I didn't file anything or whatever. And then he filed something against me and said, I'm only
So, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he move because Lori ran off for months at a time, and to put JJ closer to who's taking care of JJ when the father can't? Let's go back here.
took him. And I let him take him, and I didn't file anything or whatever. And then he filed something against me and said, I'm only going to get supervised visits because I'm crazy and blah, 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 you know, the story. And so I just didn't talk to him for like 30 days and let him take care of him and let him see what I've been doing for the past 7 years, because men need to do that. You don't have to have kids. I have grown kids. I have grandkids. Like, okay, you're going to threaten me that you're not going to let me see my child without supervised visitation? Okay, do it for 30 days and see how long it lasts. You're begging me to come pick him up.
Yeah.
Which he did. Just like, come back and whatever. So I moved in with them to Houston for the family, you know, and Tylee went with me. We drove to Houston from here and left all our family and all his support, all my son's support, like his cousins, everything. And we were there, and I enrolled him in school there. I tried to start all his services, and it takes forever.
Yeah.
You know, it takes so long to get that done.
There's no easy transferring.
There's no easy transfer.
You start
State to state, it's a totally new thing. Yeah. And he didn't do any of it in those 30 days. So he just had gone without services, without even applying. And I'm like, do you even realize? Because he didn't ever do it in the first place. I did it. Long story. I'll keep it short. He hasn't been here in a couple weeks since we moved in. He came. He was very nasty when he was there, but he travels for business. So he went back to the Houston house, and he's like, I'm coming on Wednesday night, and I'm going to come pick up JJ, take him to school Thursday, pick him up Thursday, take him Friday, whatever. And I said, Casey wanted to come to the house, and I said, you can't come stay at this house because you can't get along with Tylee. She's a minor. She has to live here.
Yeah.
So because he gets in huge fights with her, and she hates him. And so I'm like, you can't stay at the house, so I will book you a hotel, because he stays in hotels all the time because he travels for business, and the business pays for it, right? So I said, I will book you a hotel nearby.
What does he do?
He works with teachers in their retirement plans, but he goes to them at their school. He mostly works in California, no matter where we live. And we lived in Hawaii, he'd work in California, he'd work in Texas, he has like books of business in different areas. And so he just goes wherever. It kind of just gives him freedom that he doesn't have to stay home every day and take care of special needs children. It's like an excuse, right? So I've done that myself for the past 7 years. And I was a single mom before I married him with my 2 kids. And he had 2 kids. We got married, tried to make a family. You know, how it goes. Anyway, so he said he was coming last
He should have just handled it like Lori Vallow, right? And killed them.
night. I said, well, you can't stay at this house because you can't get along with the family, and I'll get you a hotel, and you can come play with JJ. But he goes to school all day. I got him back into his school. His services, I met with the DDD yesterday, and they finally are getting his services back. But we're paying $125 a day to have him back at school because he's so out of his routine. He's been a nightmare on the floor, kicking stuff, hitting stuff, walls. Like, he just ripped him out of his life. So, anyway, just how he is, because he only thinks about himself. So. He says, coming to get JJ, and JJ's like, I don't want Dad, because he knows Dad took him away, so he was freaking out, right? So I didn't tell him he was even coming, like, Dad's going to come take you to school or anything. So he didn't bother me last night, which I was surprised. I was expecting kind of an ambush for him to kind of, like, come over or be just mean. And say, it's my house, I'm on the lease, I'm going to stay here, kind of thing. Because that's kind of his macho attitude. And so he came this morning, I was getting JJ ready.
So he got in last night, but he wasn't at the house last night?
Yeah, I didn't hear from him, except for he texted me and said, I'll be there at 7:30 to pick up JJ. And I was like, okay, that was good, because I didn't hear from him. And then he came over in the morning, and he's like banging on the door. I'm like, oh great, here we go, you know. And I was just gonna be nice. I was gonna be nice as possible, and I had JJ stuff all ready for school. And so,
do you remember about what time he got there?
He said he'd be there 7:30, but it was more like 7:40ish or 7:35. I don't know. But I remember thinking, looking at the clock, and he wasn't there at 7:30, and he's usually Mr. On time. Yes. So I was like, okay. And then JJ was like, oh, Dad. And then he was like, Mommy, and like ran to me and was like holding me. He's like, you're not taking me to school. And I was like, it's okay, Dad, I can just drive you to school. It's not a big deal. You know, just trying to make it whatever. Calm. Yeah, calm. And then he was just being real smirky and real like jerky, you know, to me. And I was like ignoring him, whatever. And so he was like,
your brother lives there with you?
No. Okay. He had stayed with me last night because I was worried he was going to come over and cause trouble with me. And just wanted someone else there, like my brother there, because I trust my brother. And
isn't that a different story?
It's been a long story. Like, I had to go live at my brother's when he took JJ, and, you know, he's just been difficult. So, anyway. So I got JJ stuff ready, and he was like, well, and he's like this about timing. He's like, I'm leaving in 20 minutes because it's like 15 minutes to school and like you can't get there early. They don't open the gates until 8:20 or something like that. And I said, well, why don't you just go now? I don't want him in the house. I'm like, why don't you just go now and take him to Burger King because that's what he likes for breakfast. And he's very particular about food. Like, he wanted chicken fries for breakfast and the Sprite. Like, and I just get what he wants because if you don't get what he wants, then it's like on the floor screaming, dragging him into school. Like, and he's big and he's heavy and it's hard for me to handle. But anyway, so I said, just go. And so he said, okay. So I gave him a backpack. He got in the car. This is his MO, right? He always leaves something in the house and comes back. He never leaves the first time. I always expect my husband to come back into the house, right? So I guess he had left his phone on the counter.
So he initially left with the backpack and with JJ?
And so he put them in the car, in the driveway, and then he came back in, right? So I kissed JJ goodbye. He came back in, and his phone was on the counter, and I had his phone. And he was like, give me my phone. And I was like, why don't you show me your text that you've been texting, blah, 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 you know, whatever. Because he's like acting really weird, like he's plotting something against me. Like, I'm like, why are you even here? Like, what did you come here for, you know? He's been talking to my other brother, and my brother came into town at the same time last night. And I haven't talked to my brother in a while, my other brother, and I was like, and so he was texting him on the phone.
So she has manufactured the entire scenario to get him killed. She has this plan. Obviously. I think it's very obvious. Just, I mean, following along with what we know in order of events, the chain of events, this seems very premeditated. I'm going to get my brother here. I'm going to take his phone. I'm going to cause a fight, an issue. And then my brother can do the deed once I leave.
When he first got to my house, and I'm like, why are you texting Adam? Like, do you even talk to him? Like, my other brother. And, you know, he's been telling me all these texts, like, you're going down, blah, 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 blah. He's blaming me for our marriage breaking up, and my niece getting divorced, and my friend getting divorced. He said, I'm a destroyer of families. Because I want everybody to get divorced. I'm like, what would my motivation be for people getting divorced? So I could babysit.
They got divorced because of this cult. Remember? Because of the cult.
I'm a destroyer of families. Because I want everybody to get divorced. I'm like, what would my motivation be for people getting divorced? So I could babysit the kids more? Like, why would I have any control over?
She hates these kids. It's very obvious.
People do. Yeah. So it's just very odd. But anyway, he goes nuts. He's gone nuts on us a lot of times. Tylee and I have had to leave with JJ over the years, probably 5 times, and just stay in a hotel for 2 days because he goes nuts. Like, you don't know what's going to set him off. Like, whatever. And she's mad at me for always, like, going back. But we had JJ and he's special needs, and it's really hard. Like, it's even hard to take care of by yourself.
So when you say he goes nuts, that can mean a lot of different things.
Right.
So goes nuts like yelling and screaming.
Yeah,
goes
yelling
nuts
and screaming.
Like breaking
like,
things.
Yes.
Goes nuts like physical violence.
He's never really, besides like grabbing us and pushing us, but not like punching us or something. But with Tylee, he has gotten physical before. And with my grown son.
Like physical how?
Like got into a physical fist fight with my son when he was 16.
Okay.
And he came after Tylee 2 times in Hawaii.
Okay.
And like went like he was going to hit her, but then I got in between them. Right.
How old was she when that happened?
Probably 13 and 14.
Okay. So this morning he comes back in and...
He comes back in, I wouldn't give him his phone. He was screaming at me to give him his phone. He was very worried about whatever was on his text that he did not want me to see. And so I was just holding it there, and he was screaming at me. And I was kind of walking towards around the house with it, so he couldn't get it. He's like reaching for it and stuff like that. And so Tylee came out of her room, upset, and she had a bat. And she told him to leave her mother alone, like, right? So she was really, whatever. And he's screaming at her, don't you hit me with that bat, blah, 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 blah. And then my brother heard all the commotion because he was in there in bed. And so he came out into the main room and, I guess whatever.
What's your brother's name?
Alex.
Alex, okay.
And then he just started, he was screaming and he was super upset and whatever. And he's yelling at Tylee, don't you hit me with that bat, and blah, blah, blah. And so Tylee, I guess, I don't know if she swung at him or what, but he like grabbed the bat from Tylee and then went to like hit Tylee with the bat. It was, and I was right there, they were right there, and my brother grabbed him from behind, like just to stop him from hitting Tylee.
You go like this, like he grabbed him like...
Yeah, from behind, like just kind of to pull him back. And then they got into the thing, and he's hitting him with the bat, and they're on the ground, like grappling around or whatever. And then, I mean, that was all.
The story isn't adding up, right? I'm not crazy. I'm not like misremembering. Like I'm recording these really close together.
And he
quickly.
And he hit your brother with a bat while they were grappling and stuff?
Yeah, yes, he was hitting him with the bat, like swinging the bat, back and forth, and they were kind of like on the ground, and I was like freaking out trying to go around, knowing JJ was in the car, right? And so then he got up and he had the bat like this towards me, and I was going around the other side to try to just get out of his range where he couldn't hit me. And then I had told Tylee that she was on the ground because after he took the bat from her, she fell back. And so I told her, I was like, go get in the car with JJ. Like, I don't want JJ coming into the house, and I wanted her out of the way. I wanted the kids out of the way of whatever this fight was going to be. And then,
do you remember what your husband or your brother were saying or yelling during all of this, if they were at all?
Just kind of, get off me, out, or whatever. They were like, don't talk to my niece, whatever. Like, it was, I don't remember specifics, but.
Oh, look, she no longer remembers parts that she doesn't need for her particular story. You've seen that a few times in this case.
They were kind of both. They were kind of in the heat of it. I don't think there was many words that I remember.
So Tylee goes outside.
Yeah, she was outside.
And then what happened?
Then they got up from that, and my brother had stepped back, I guess, and then Charles was coming with me and yelling at me to give him his phone still, because I had it in my hand. It was all really quickly. And then when I went around kind of in the circle, then my brother was there.
And at no point does she drop the phone, leave the phone.
When you said when you were going around and he was coming at you with the bat, how was he holding the bat?
Just like that, like backwards, almost in one arm.
Like he was swinging it backwards? He would have done like
he would have swung it backwards at me, not frontwards.
Okay, yeah.
He was a professional baseball player.
Okay.
So it wasn't a good idea for Tylee to get out of that.
Probably not the.
I mean, he played semi-pro when he was young. But yeah, and then I was kind of turned around, and we were all right there in that room except for the kids had been outside by that time, and I heard the gunshot. And
so you heard the shot? Did you actually see the shot, or did you just hear it?
I had gone around to the kitchen to get away from him, and so back around. So I don't know if he went in the house.
I didn't, so I'm like a little bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah, so.
Tylee said she heard the bat. And then she said, as that was happening, like immediately after, Lori went outside.
I didn't see the shot. I heard it, and then I came back around and I saw that he was on the ground, and was freaking out. Yeah. And so I was just freaking out, and I just went into mom mode. I'm like, I've got to go to get JJ's phone. I've got to get to the kids. I just felt like I got to get to the kids, and so I just went outside and to see if they were in there. Okay, I didn't want them coming back in the house when all that was going on, and
I'm going to be checking my notes real quick. Surveillance video from Burger King proved it was Lori with the phone and showed her in the drive-thru 42 minutes before Charles was shot. "42 minutes. She's claiming she was there and hadn't left with the kids yet.
Got JJ in the car, and he was trying to come in, and Tylee was like looking at me with like the crazy eyes, like what just happened, and I told her to get in the car and we're going to take JJ to school, and I just left.
When you came back in and you saw him on the ground, where was your brother? Did you see him where he was at?
Yeah, he was right in front of him.
Okay.
Like it all happened very quickly. That was, I mean, I feel like I was there because I was right there, and like a second later, like I just went around.
I don't think her brother mentioned Lori coming back either, right? What's really interesting is Lori is obviously a liar at this point. Like, there's no doubt about it. She lies. She's not particularly good at it. At least thus far. Whatever story that they had planned or rehearsed or whatever did not come across here. This is a billion red flags.
The kitchen to get away from him.
Did your brother say anything to you at all? Do you remember?
No, we were both just in shock.
Okay.
Like, it was just I didn't say anything. I went out with the kids just to check on them first, and I was going to come back in maybe, but I didn't. I was like, I just have to get him to school and call the police, come back, whatever.
Did anybody say did you or your brother say anything at some point about calling the police or calling 911? Do you remember?
Yeah, he called me.
Okay.
And he said, are you taking Gigi to school? And I said, yeah, we need to call the police. And he said, okay.
Okay. So he called you when you didn't come back inside, basically?
Right. Because I was like in the car for a minute, and then I was like, what do I do? And
I don't remember him saying he ever called her.
I didn't want Gigi to go inside, and I didn't know what to do, and Tylee was freaking out. I was trying to get them away from the scene.
Understandable.
Either I'm having amnesia or short-term memory loss, or he didn't say that.
And you may not know this, so, because I know you heard the shot, do you know at what point your brother had the gun? Do you know if he had it when they got in their first fight, or did he have to go get it, or do you know that at all?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
And do you remember if you ever heard your brother?
I didn't see him ever leave the room.
Okay.
So, it was so fast. All that was so fast. Like, him on the ground rolling around and I'm screaming. And
this probably happened in a couple seconds.
Yeah. I mean, it was like super fast.
And I don't know if you know this or not, does your brother normally carry a gun? Like, I carry a gun everywhere I go.
Right. Like, I know he's a gun person. Like, he has guns and things.
Okay.
He's good with guns.
Did you know that he had one with him?
No.
When he came over?
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did, because he's very, very professional with guns.
Proficient, professional. Responsible is usually a good word.
Right, responsible with guns.
And then, do you remember if at any time, so you were trying to get away from him, and you heard the shot. Prior to the shot, do you remember at any point hearing your husband or your brother saying anything to either of them?
No.
So my second very ridiculous question is there anything else that I didn't ask about or anything that we didn't cover that you think is important? I always ask that just because I wasn't there, and so we're going through something that happened a super small amount of time.
Yes. Can I
So,
step?
yeah, go for it.
Just thinking.
He's working so hard to think. I don't say anything else to like make my lie more believable.
Just that. He was just so angry, like super scary.
Did you
know how you take your phone away from like a 16-year-old and they freak out? Like their world disintegrates. Like I've taken my phone away from a 16-year-old boy before, and he's like wanted to kill himself because like the kid out talking to him. That's how it was. It was like if something on his phone that he does not want me to see, that he was like freaking out.
What was on his phone was him, as we know, telling her she was caught. Most likely had the emails attached that he was in direct contact with both of the Daybells. And Lori took it. Took his way he could possibly have called for help.
Like,
that phone also probably contains some evidence that could be used against her.
To the point where I thought he would hit me in the back of the head to get the phone.
Okay.
It did contain evidence against her, as we know about the texts and the emails.
Okay. So you thought, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you thought it was possible that he was going to hurt you?
Absolutely, he was going to hurt me and Tylee.
Okay.
Not JJ, he would never hurt JJ.
Okay.
And he hurt my brother. Like, he was going like ballistic about. It was bad.
Okay. I'm going to go talk to her real quick.
Okay.
And then if, obviously, we'll be here for a little bit, hopefully not too much longer. But if you think of anything or there's anything that kind of pops in your head or something else that we didn't cover, obviously. So I'm going to go talk to her for just a little bit, and then I'll kind of come back and check with you, and then we'll kind of go from there. So I know my partner's talking to your brother over in one of the other interview rooms. So we're going to just try to get, as much done as we can and go from there.
Okay.
Okay? And then, is there anybody that you need to call or anything, or you want to wait a little bit?
I don't know what I would say.
And wait a little bit, we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know what I would say.
And if you want to, you can think about it. So we do
know what she said to his children, that he's going to get cremated and then stopped responding.
We have victim services that work within the police department. They're right over here. They're not cops, they're civilians. And they do, Jessica, who's out there with the fire department, so they're kind of our crisis response. They come right away. So our victim services that work in the department are kind of more long-term type support systems. So they're just a really good resource because they do a lot of stuff with our families and things like that, and can help with support services and questions you might have.
She's been through so much.
So it might be a good idea.
I just can't stand for her to have to go through all this.
Yeah, it might be a good idea maybe before I take you guys back today, that I get one of them to come in and maybe sit and talk with you guys and see. And it's not something there's a bunch of stuff they can offer, but it's good to have a contact and like a name and a face and a phone number.
That'd be good.
That way maybe a couple days from now, a week from now, or if there's something going on or you think you need help with something, it may not be something that's necessarily up like me and my partner's alley, but it very much may be up theirs. So I'd like for you to meet one of them before we leave. That way, hopefully, if there's something that they can help you and your daughter with, they can, or even JJ or whatever else.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I hadn't thought about him.
Yeah. So
I mean, he's used to him not being there, but he wouldn't understand even if you told him.
Right.
Like that somebody passed away, he doesn't understand what
that means.
JJ was an afterthought, pretty clearly here. Not that she seemed to really think much better of her daughter.
Well, I mean, it's hard at 7 to understand that.
Anyway, that's true, but with him he just doesn't, which is probably better because he doesn't comprehend things, but I don't know, it's just, that's a lot to think about.
Yeah. So let me go find one of them, and then we'll make sure that you guys get to meet with them before you leave, because that might be something very helpful for you guys. And I'm going to go speak with your daughter for just a little bit, and we'll kind of go from there. Okay? And if you need anything, let me know, okay? Okay.
I thought about cutting in between, so I knew it was, they're talking back and forth, but I think it's just best to put their interviews together, the different segments. Now, there's a while where she sits there, and, I mean, murder's very boring for her. Her daughter, by the way, in the segments I didn't show, sitting in the room alone, cried. Whether that's because, her stepfather is dead, or maybe she knew what she was about to say is a lie.
So one of the...
Here we go.
I like your daughter a lot.
She's fun.
Yeah. So one of the victim services, Denise, is here. So I kind of told her just a little bit of what happened.
Okay.
So if you're good with it, I'm going to have her come over and I'm going to introduce her to you guys so you guys can talk for a little bit, which kind of works well too because I need to run over to where my partner's at and just talk to him a little bit. That way you guys will have a little bit, hopefully, extra support if you need it. So I'm going to go grab Denise real fast and then introduce you guys. Okay?
Instantly bored again.
Hi, sorry, that's funny, I'm sorry.
So she's gonna take you over to like a conference room so you guys can sit and talk and stuff. And then you can just, once you guys talk and kind of, you can decide if you're comfortable with Tylee coming in or whatever.
Okay, sure.
And then we'll
I just don't want her to be left alone by herself.
Yeah.
She's freaking out.
So we keep kind of popping in and checking on her and stuff.
I just don't want her to be alone too long.
Yeah.
We'll be as brief or as long as you want, okay? I'm here to try to, you got lots of choices when you talk, so we'll just get started and then then we'll go from there. That sound okay? All right, thanks.
She thinks she just got away with everything. She kind of did. Stage 1 is complete. So, I think I'm going to stop this video here on July 11th, 2019. I feel like it's a good place. It's long enough as it is. And there's a lot to think about. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully the way this was structured makes sense to you. And if you're interested, I do plan to keep continuing. I've seen people covering the current situation with her. I'm not at least right now planning to jump out of order and cover that. Hoping to catch up, because remember, Lori has a case coming up. She's representing herself. I've seen the Sarah Boone comparisons to what she's saying in court now, and I'm trying to hold back and not watch, but probably going to happen at some point. I just think it's so interesting seeing these interviews and this information in order. You can really see it evolve in a way that I don't really see in a lot of videos that cover, at least on YouTube. I see it more when I've watched like true crime documentaries, of course, but I'm not up to that quality, obviously. But I think it's a good way to display the information and allow people to catch up. Maybe they know part of the story. They can find that part they're missing. But thank you all. Appreciate you. Not sure when this will premiere, so we'll see. I got to edit and everything like that.